and those who spend the night prostrating and standing before their Lord. It is essential for the memorizer of the Quran to dedicate a portion of the night that he never abandons. The Quran leaves its mark on the believer's face through the trace of prostration, which manifests as good demeanor, humility, and the radiant pallor that comes from staying awake with the noble Quran. This pallor contains divine light and beauty. Memorizing the noble Quran is among the greatest blessings, and the memorizer must practice what he has stored in his heart, even if it seems little. Allah the Almighty says, rather it is clear verses in the hearts of those who have been given knowledge. He calls whoever memorizes the Quran a person of knowledge. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn Alas said, whoever recites the Quran has wrapped prophethood between his sides, except that he is not given revelation. He warned that anyone who sees others with worldly wealth and wishes for what they have has belittled what Allah has magnified. The companion of the Quran should feel richer than kings and billionaires. Allah says, and we have certainly given you 7 of the oft-repeated verses and the great Quran. Do not extend your eyes toward that by which we have given enjoyment to some categories of them. When Allah descends to the lowest heaven in the last third of the night, saying, is there anyone calling upon me that I may answer him? This is the time for intimate communion with Allah, and what benefits the believer most is the Quran within his chest. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught the most effective method for maintaining Quran memorization. When the companion of the Quran stands and recites it by night and day, he remembers it, and if he does not stand with it, he forgets it. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen emphasized that this prophetic method, praying with the Quran in regular prayers, duha prayer and night prayer, is the best way to memorize and preserve the Quran. The Prophet himself demonstrated this dedication. During the year of delegations, he once arrived late to teach visiting tribes because his daily portion of Quran recitation had not been completed. Despite his busy schedule with teaching delegations, he refused to compromise his Quranic routine, showing that the companion of the Quran must never abandon his daily portion. The companions typically completed the entire Quran every 7 days, dividing it as follows: 3 surahs, Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, An-Nisa, then 5, then 7, then 9, 11, 13, and finally the detailed section. Some companions like Uthman would complete it in 1 night, while others took 3 days. This consistent recitation established the Quran firmly in their hearts. While memorization is crucial, it must be combined with understanding and contemplation. Allah says, "A blessed book, which we have revealed to you, that they might reflect upon its verses, and that those of understanding would be reminded." Both students and teachers bear responsibility for moving hearts through the Quran, not merely focusing on memorization without reflection. The righteous predecessors exemplified this approach. When Mus'ab ibn Sa'd recited, "So woe to those who pray, who are heedless of their prayer," his father explained that this refers to delaying prayer from its proper time, not to minor mistakes during prayer. Such explanations became firmly established in the child's heart, making it impossible for him to neglect prayer thereafter. Hassan al-Basri criticized those who read the Quran as slaves and children who have no knowledge of its interpretation. He said, pondering the Quran means following it, warning, by Allah, it is not memorizing its letters while neglecting its boundaries. The greatest requirement is that the Quran's effect should be visible in one's character and actions, as the Prophet's character was the Quran itself. Ibn Masud described how the bearer of the Quran should be recognized, known by his night when people are sleeping, known by his day when people are breaking their fast, known by his sadness when people are rejoicing, known by his weeping when people are laughing, known by his silence when people are engaging in vain talk, and known by his humility when people are being arrogant. This transformation should occur naturally, not for show. The Quran bearer should be weeping, sorrowful, gentle, and quiet, characterized by few words and long silence. He should be soft rather than harsh, contemplative rather than heedless, peaceful rather than argumentative. These qualities emerge naturally from intimate companionship with the Quran through night prayer and constant recitation. To maintain memorization effectively, the memorizer should establish a routine of completing the entire Quran every 7 to 10 days maximum. Many memorizers fail because they only have review routines, perhaps 5 pages daily, without regular complete recitations. This approach leaves portions unread for months, causing memorization to weaken and become disrupted. The solution is combining review with complete recitation cycles. If memorization is still weak, read from the Mus'haf, but maintain this routine constantly according to your memorization level. By consistently cycling through the complete memorization within 10 days or less, the Quran becomes as familiar as Surat al-Fatiha. The dedication of early scholars was remarkable. Imam az-Zuhri memorized the entire Quran in 80 nights. Qatada could recite Surat al-Baqarah perfectly without a single error because these scholars prayed with the Quran nightly. Al-Amash was so precise that others could follow along with written copies without finding a single mistake in his recitation. Abu Sahl ibn Ziyad exemplified the fruits of constant night prayer and Quran recitation. He could extract any desired verse effortlessly because the Quran had become as if it were before his eyes. Even when the righteous predecessors experienced lapses in memory, they attributed it to their sins, seeking Allah's forgiveness, like Malik ibn Dinar, who would say upon forgetting a letter, "Due to a sin of mine, and Allah is not unjust to His servants." The discourse concludes with Imam Malik's final years, when he spent his time constantly reading the Mus'haf and weeping, particularly when reciting. Competition in worldly increase diverts you until you visit the graveyards. His student Abdurrahman ibn al-Qasim, author of Al-Mudawwana, appeared in a dream saying that what he found most beloved with Allah was recitation of the Quran, even above his extensive jurisprudential knowledge. This reminds us that while Islamic knowledge is valuable, the Quran's recitation and companionship provide the greatest benefit in this life and the next. The memorizer who establishes night prayer with his memorized Quran, combines memorization with understanding and practice, and maintains consistent recitation cycles will find the Quran to be the spring of his heart and the light of his chest. We ask Allah to make the great Quran the spring of our hearts and the light of our chests, to establish it firmly in our hearts, and to grant us beautiful recitation that pleases Him during the hours of night and the ends of day. May Allah forgive us, our parents, and all Muslims, living and dead. All praise belongs to Allah, Lord of all worlds, and may His peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad, his family, and all his companions.